Hello, and welcome back to the Spoilercast, the show where we talk about movies and we don't care about spoiling them. My name is Tobias, and with me as always is my sister and trusted co-host, Rebecca.
Hello!
Hello! And today we're talking about a new movie, a slightly new one. It's been out for like a week or something.
It's dated 2023 on IMDb.
Yeah, I'm sure it hit some festivals in 2023. Came out here in 2024, so we're counting it as a 2024 movie.
Yes.
It's the slightly fantasy comedy thriller starring Nicolas Cage, Dream Scenario.
Have you been dreaming about me?
Have I been dreaming about you?
Yeah.
Yay! I think.
Yeah.
Also, just want to say, if you like this show, don't forget to hit the thumbs up thing and subscribe button if you aren't already subscribed here on YouTube, where you can watch us, or just hit follow or 5-star or whatever on any other podcast platform you're listening to this. Also, check us out on patreon.com/don'tmakeascene for literally hundreds of hours of exclusive material. But let's talk about Nicolas Cage in Dream Scenario. This was a movie I was pretty excited for.
For two reasons, I guess.
Yeah. 2 reasons?
Nicolas Cage and A24.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm a big Nicolas Cage fan. Big enough to actually have a Nicolas Cage-themed podcast called Madness in the Method. We are actually in the process of recording Season 4 right now. It should be coming out soon. Keep an eye out for that on this channel. And also, it's a new A24 movie, and I'm a fan of A24, although we're going to talk a bit more about A24 and a pattern I have started noticing. Really should have noticed a while back, but we'll get to that. First, we're going to talk about the actual movie. We both watched it today?
Yeah.
Well, I watched the ending. I started watching it the other day. So, we'll just do this the regular way. I'll ask you, what did you think of Dream Scenario?
I thought it was terrifyingly fascinating.
Terrifyingly fascinating.
Yes, because it was partially terrifying.
Sure.
In more than one ways. But it was also a fascinating subject in general.
Yeah.
And just fascinating to see Nicolas Cage act that way. I'm not a big Nicolas Cage fan, but this was the weirdest version I've ever seen of him.
You clearly haven't listened to Madness in the Method. Check it out. No. He is a fascinating actor.
Yes.
And at this point, since I don't want to toot my own horn, but I'm a bit of a Nicolas Cage scholar. Connoisseur, yeah. This was a good performance by him. This is obviously a movie where he cared, because it's easy to see he's never like bad in a movie. I mean,
no.
He's been bad in a couple of ones I've seen. But even in like a small movie where he's obviously just doing it for the paycheck, you can still see him care about giving a performance.
Like he's trying at least.
He's trying, yeah. He very, very rarely phones it in. It happens. But people are saying like this is one of his best performances. I guess it is. But I don't know. Maybe, yeah, because we gotta think a little bit like what movies has he been really good in? And obviously, you have movies like Leaving Las Vegas or Adaptation. I don't know if you've seen any of those. Oh, okay. All right.
I've seen Face Off.
He's good in Face Off.
National Treasure.
He's pretty good there.
What's the one we saw in movies like a couple of years ago? When
The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent?
Yes.
He was, of course, amazing in last year's Renfield.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a spoiler award nominated for that one.
Yes, that's true.
That's true.
Seen that one, obviously. I've seen
Yeah.
Pig.
Now, if you want to talk about great performance.
Yes.
Wow. That's a movie that we need to discuss more. We have discussed it, but,
There is a whole episode on it.
Yes, I know.
But besides his performance here...
Yeah.
The actual movie...
Yeah, sure.
What did you think of it?
I thought it was okay. I thought it starts out very interesting. Then about halfway through, it's like, so what do we do with the premise? Yeah, people keep dreaming about this guy. Okay. Now what? What's the point of the movie?
Oh, well, I don't think the dreams were the point of the movie.
No. I understand that. Like, obviously, this is a movie about it. It's about the dream is just an avatar. It's a vessel for something.
Yes.
It's obviously a movie about becoming famous in today's.
Wanting to become famous.
Wanting to become famous, or
Specifically, wanting
or
to be
accidentally
recognized.
becoming famous. Yeah. And to deal with that kind of fame. Deal with social media fame, really.
Yes.
And also something cancel culture something.
And a bit of a FOMO, I guess. You know what FOMO stands for?
I know, fear of missing out, please.
Yeah.
I'm a millennial, but I'm not
Yeah,
that...
well, you're an older millennial. Not sure. Because he's desperate to be someone other than just who he is. Because he wants to be recognized. He wants to be, in on everything.
Sure. Yeah.
When he gets this tiny little sliver of fame at first, just like jumps on it. Not even considering what's going to happen.
Well, yeah, he does. And that's like 5 minutes. But then...
No, that's like 30 minutes.
No, well... Yeah, he does the interview with the news thing. And then, he goes to talk to the Thoughts people, who I guess is some sort of marketing firm or something.
Yeah. Like an agency for, famous people, or wanting to be for famous people.
Something like that, yeah, I'm not sure. Michael Cera was there. That was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, that's just because, he saw it as a chance to maybe get his book published, or, at least the book he's supposed to write.
Yeah.
Sure, I mean, and it
is a little bit messy what they're actually trying to get to, because you have this man who is very strange.
Yeah.
And then the whole premise of him showing up in people's dream, which is just even stranger. But then having him react to it with such, I don't know, at first it's nativity, I guess. And then he just, I don't know.
Nativity? As in the story about Jesus?
No,
naivete. I'm kidding. I'm sorry.
Whatever. You know what I mean.
Sorry. I knew.
Fuck you.
Anyway. Are you saying this is a Christ allegory then?
No.
I'm kidding.
Shut up.
Sorry.
It's
Okay,
a crisis allegory, I guess.
Yeah.
Him going through midlife crisis or something.
Yeah.
It's very strange. It's disturbing at points, which is why it was terrifying.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
That is them utilizing Nicolas Cage when he. I wish they did that more. I understand this is supposed to be a big. I mean, it is sort of a comedy at points.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, they even have what's his name, who plays his colleague Tim Meadows is in this. Like SNL alumni. He's a comedian. He's a comedic actor. So there's obviously this tinge. This is a comedy.
Yeah.
But I kind of wish they leaned in more to that. The trailer made it feel like he kind of figures out a way to
control it.
Control it, yeah, and like get to actually decide what he does in people's dreams. They kind of sold it as that, and like how that then goes to his head. None of that happened. Oh, by the way, this is a spoiler cast. I guess you know that already, but we're when it's newer movies, we try to avoid spoilers. But I guess we're gonna have to talk a little bit about story-specific things in here, just so you know.
Yes.
That none of that is in here.
This is a very difficult movie to talk about without spoiling. To be honest,
Yeah.
Can't really discuss it without talking, about the things, the actual things.
No, instead, after the initial, like, fame from being in people's dreams, people started having nightmares, which I thought at first, I was waiting for this to have, like, a more interesting plot. Like, obviously, yes, it's a story about a man who craves attention. Like, he's obviously, like, I mean, it's almost too obvious, because the first time someone says, I had a dream about you, it's his daughter. Even the first one who dreams about him is his daughter. And she's, in the opening of the movie, she's floating away, and he's just standing there, like, it's okay. And his reaction is, whoa, that's interesting. So I didn't do anything at all? He didn't, like... Yeah. That was
he hones
his first
in
thing.
on himself.
Yeah, he's completely self-centered.
Which is what the ex mentions when they meet her.
Yes.
Like, oh, you still doing that thing?
Yeah.
I don't know what she calls it. I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
Basically, like, seeking attention, but seeking, like, blame or something, so...
Yeah, and then, but it's also that... I wish we explored the character a little bit more, because it also starts out with him being egged on by his wife, but also probably himself wanting to confront a former colleague or something about a paper.
Former classmate, I think.
Classmate, even. Yeah, right. They were in college together. Yeah. Or university or whatever. About a theory. She's publishing a paper on a theory that he thinks, like, he had the, like, idea of. He
talked about it.
That's what his book is supposed to be about. Evolutionary biology and ants and stuff. Yeah. And now she's about to publish a paper based on his ideas, and he feels like, kind of like, could you at least put my name on it then? And, like, which is understandable.
Sure. But the way she phrases it, he mentioned a couple of words which made her interested enough to research it.
Yeah, to research it, yeah.
He hasn't done the research properly.
He had the idea, he just never capitalized on it. Like, he's been talking about writing the book for years and blah, blah, blah. Obviously had the idea back when he was in school, so it's been decades.
Yeah. And she finally finished her research and thesis on it and actually published something.
Yeah. But I can still, I think we're supposed to be on his side, but then he completely, like, cucks out and says, oh, come on, we can just put my name on it too. It's my idea. Oh, no, that was not what she's supposed to do. I feel like they're trying to build sympathy for him, but then he's also kind of self-centered, and if you want to, view it from another angle, he's kind of meek, kind of...
Yeah. I kind of felt like they were trying to ridicule him completely. Like, straight away just go, oh yeah, he's just a beta male.
Yeah.
Or Sigma, or whatever the fuck the terminology is. Sigma's up here. Oh, right.
Alpha is there, beta is down here.
Right, okay, beta then.
Yeah. So then he has this little bit of fame from the dreams. But it doesn't really seem to go to his head, because that would be like a perfect example now for him to let this self-centeredness, this egotism kind of go to his head, and him doing all, interviews, and he gets to go on TV shows, and, and that kind of destroying him, how someone who accidentally becomes famous for something like a viral clip or something, which this is obviously based on.
Yes.
Completely ruins it. It's a YouTube
video
called "The Rise and Fall of Nicolas Cage in Dream Scenario." Like, he had everything and lost it in an instant. Like, that's the kind of thing. That's what it felt like this was supposed to be. But it never really goes to his head. Sure, he meets with the people just to see if he can get, his book published. Or someone to...
Yeah, but he doesn't want to do... If it had gone to his head, he would have agreed to do anything, really, to get the fame. And he doesn't want to do anything.
No, and that's what I mean.
Yeah.
So...
There's
the beginning of an idea here. There's a beginning of an idea of a person here. Someone who is kind of meek, but at the same time craves attention. Then when he gets attention... It's like, oh, but it's not that kind of attention I want. I want to write my book. I don't want to do Sprite commercials. Then all of a sudden he has, like, morals and standards.
Well, only when it comes to what kind of famous he is.
Yeah. And you could say...
Then we have this... No, go on.
No, you should go.
We have this other part of it, the whole dream bit.
Yeah.
Which at first seems to be just, like, it's like it's a manifestation of him trying to get famous. He shows up in people's dreams just so they'll recognize him. But they don't really explore how. No one researches it.
Yeah.
And then we have one scenario that actually seems to correlate between the real world and the dreams. Because it's when he reads that the article is published, his old classmate, and he doesn't get mentioned, and he gets mad.
And that's when the nightmares
The next time we see a dream, the nightmares have started.
Yeah.
So that's like the only connection. But again, they don't explore it enough.
No. And here is really where I think, because we usually talk about, difference between plot and story.
Yeah.
The plot here is, of course, a man somehow appears in people's dreams.
Yes.
Not that not consciously, he's not in there, but people dream about him.
Yes.
And then, his mood seemed to affect how people perceive him in their dreams.
Yes.
This then,
even though they don't know about his mood.
Yeah. This then turns into science being made on metaphysics and what dreams really are, which means that in the end of the movie, we have advertisement in dreams. You can get like songs or shoe commercials or whatever in your dreams.
You can have people willingly infiltrate your dreams.
Yeah. And that is the plot.
Yeah.
Also that the first guy gets cancelled for something he hasn't done.
Exactly.
Like for dreams. But that's beside the point. What the point is, like, they never explore. They like even mention like, oh yeah, we did the research, but we couldn't really find out how this worked. And it's like, okay, so I understand that it's a metaphor for fame.
Sure.
But you need to, because you go into it, so you make a whole like sci-fi like concept of it in the end with the wristwatch, which lets you go into people's dreams. Aren't you going to explain at least a little bit of how it works? I understand that's not the point.
Make it up,
but
at least.
Make up something. And
it's not like they have to do the real research.
No, and if it's just gonna be a story about someone where fame is a double-edged sword, which this is really a story of.
Yes.
You get attention, but then you get the wrong kind of attention as well.
Yeah.
Did you really need to have this fantasy plot of someone invading your dreams then? Couldn't that just have been about a man being like mistakenly famous, like accidentally becoming famous, and that ruining his life?
It wouldn't be as exciting to watch in theaters.
No, I know.
Because you can't have this like this midlife balding teacher who is genuinely the most boring person alive, both looks-wise and personality-wise. I mean, even his daughters seem to be like done with him because he is so boring. His house is boring. His wife is boring. His kids are boring. Everything about him is boring.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Except for the fact that he happens to show up in people's dreams.
Yeah, I know. But then that doesn't lead anywhere.
No, I know. That sucks. But it's like, they had to basically rewrite the entire thing to try and make it exciting then.
It's a half-baked idea. When it's really just a amusing on
great trailer.
Social media, great trailer.
That's what it is. It's a great trailer, but they didn't do the rest of the movie.
Yeah. And that's my big issue with this, is that there's a few really good ideas. They don't really capitalize on any of them.
Yeah.
I mean, I see the whole thing where, like, the court of public opinion decides that, oh, now he's a bad guy. Because, that's what happens when you get exposed on social media for things you've done. Problem is, he hasn't done anything!
No, I mean, it's not even when you get exposed for what you've done, it's when people just start assuming you've done things.
Oh, yeah, that too, but
without proof.
But here we know he hasn't done anything.
Exactly.
And then on a more superficial level, why are people so upset over their dreams? I've had dreams where, like, celebrities or people I know are doing weird things. Like they're like, oh, I've been chased. The classic, being chased by someone who's gonna kill you. I think it was Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm not sure it was at the Terminator. Probably at the Terminator. I don't know, but I don't know what it was. I was so scared. It was one of those like, woke up from, because I was so scared. But I don't go around being like nervous that Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I don't get like physically ill by watching movies now because it's just a dream. But in this movie, it's like people have to go to cognitive behavior therapy to it takes too far without actually exploring the idea of someone invading your dreams.
Sure, I'm guessing they're alluding more to like night terrors and stuff, which actually affect people. But it's still a very strange thing to have so many people have the exact same fucking night demon.
Yeah, sure.
So they need to explore more of that. They can't just throw it in the air that, oh yeah, they all dream of this weird balding guy and he happens to be scary eventually because he gets mad.
Yeah.
But then we also throw in the just being lethargic or whatever the word is, like just doesn't care in the beginning. He has some people who have weird sexual dreams about him.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of weird. Starting off being kind of creepy with a random dude standing in a corner and then he touches her and all of a sudden, yes. Strange.
Yeah.
They needed to elaborate on the whole concept of the dreams more.
Yes, exactly. Because this needed to be the plot of the movie needed to be more fully baked. This was half baked.
Yeah.
And then it's a commentary on cancel culture in which, maybe we shouldn't judge someone before we actually know the whole story. That's new. That's not something we've talked about in movies for years at this point.
Yeah, and just, online in general. And
how it affects not just the person you're canceling, even if you did something bad, it affects people around them as well.
Yeah,
like their family and stuff.
Their children.
That's interesting. I haven't seen that before. Oh, wait, I have!
Everywhere!
Yeah, so the only thing this has to kind of differentiate it is the whole dream thing, and they don't do anything with it.
No, it would have been better than if they did utilize it as that he could control them eventually. We figured, the whole science behind it all. He figured out how to infiltrate people's dreams on purpose now.
Yeah, and then he hey man, I'm back in your dream, and people just stop liking him because it's desperate. It's pitiful at that point.
Yeah.
To kind of clinging on to that little bit of fame he had, like when obviously he had his 15 minutes. Move on, and
even
he can't.
Then, it could have turned to that horror bit where he got mad at them eventually for no one wanting him anymore. So you know what? Fuck it, I'm gonna infiltrate your dreams and kill you.
Yeah,
sons of bitches.
And then it is literally just a metaphor for someone becoming famous on social media and ruining it because it goes to their head. But we're doing it through dreams, which is more quirky and fun.
Yeah,
but they don't do that.
And it would have incorporated more of the science.
Yeah.
And honestly, it would have explained and I guess rectified the ending a little bit more, because I hate the ending.
The ending,
it's so strange.
They had no ending. They were like, so there's a dream where he hugs his wife and then he flies away.
I thought they were gonna loop it back to what happened in the first dream. Yeah. Things that fell in the pool and stuff.
No.
Like that he would float up and then fall into the pool. That it was him all along or something.
No. It's kind of like another recent movie I watched, which was much better, but also didn't really have an ending. American Fiction. We've mentioned it, I think. I know I mentioned it to you.
Yeah, we've talked about it.
Great movie. That's like a 5 out of 5. Like top 10 of last year if I'd watched it last year. I might, because I haven't made a top 10 list, so maybe it'll be there. But at the same way, that movie didn't really know what to do with its ending, which is kind of like, But the movie in its overall is so good, so it doesn't really matter. Here, you're kind of like, it's that thing where you're not really immersed. You're like, I wish they did something more with this. Like, I wish they could, instead of just commenting on cancel culture, do something with it, maybe. Mm-hmm. So then when the ending comes, you're just like, that's it? It's a big nothing in the end? Okay.
Yeah.
It's sad because I was really, really rooting for this one. I thought it was going to be... I was hoping it was going to be great.
Yeah, like I said, the trailer looks fantastic.
Yeah.
But then it just...
went nowhere.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Really. It's just Nicolas Cage, what he would look like if he wasn't famous, I guess. That's basically what it is.
What he allegedly does look like, because... I don't think anyone, I don't know, there's probably tons of articles, but I haven't read them. But if you look at him, like photos of him, I'm pretty sure he wears a piece a lot of times. His hair.
Oh, yeah.
A toupee.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah. Maybe he's not that bald, but...
yeah.
Anyway, that's I don't wanna drag Nicolas Cage through the mud. I love you, Nicolas Cage. Please.
Can't help what you look like.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I just love you because you're one of the greatest actors of all time. If you're listening to this, and I know that you are, of course.
He's a big fan of Madison Method.
Of course, yeah. He writes, he comments on every episode.
Sure.
Anyway, let's move on. No, yeah. So, and I wanted to mention then why I think this is now becoming a very, very, very formulaic, or a very easy pattern to notice in A24 movies.
Yes.
Really, I only have 2 examples, but still.
Sure.
You can even take better movies than this and kind of see that it's the pattern. And a lot of it is also Ari Aster. Because here you have a weird story about someone who appears in people's dreams, but what it's really about is fame.
Yeah.
So it's a high concept movie where the story is about something very relatable, very down to earth. Sort of like the 2019 horror movie Midsommar, where you have this huge, like, weird, trippy cult horror movie.
Yes.
But it's really just a movie about breaking up from from a toxic relationship.
Yeah.
That's what the movie really is. Moving on from a bad situation. That's what it is. Or I saw a trailer came out a few days ago for a movie called... What was it called? Hold on. It's another A24 movie starring Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Where is she? There she is. Something about her daughter being like a paraplegic or something.
Oh,
Tuesday.
Yeah, I saw that trailer.
Yeah, Tuesday. Where it's about a mother who is kind of in arrested development because she's been taking care of her at this point, I'm guessing, like, late teens, whatever, like grown-up daughter who needs constant help because, of her she's unable
illness
to
of some sort,
move or whatever. She can't even breathe on her own. She needs constant attention, which has meant that her mother has had to sacrifice her entire life and kind of gotten stuck. And then the daughter discovers this magical parrot that can, that shrinks when she's scared, but grows when she's, assertive and, needs to, like, make a point. Yeah. And the parrot tells the mother to let go of your daughter. You have to understand she is going to die someday, probably pretty soon. You have to be able to move on. It's just, something we've seen hundreds of times. Very, very grounded concept or grounded story in a fantastical concept with magical parrots that talk to you. Because we can't just have a movie about a mother who can't let go. She can't accept the fact that her daughter is going to die. It has to be a magical parrot who tells her that.
Yeah.
Because I guess people don't want to watch a movie about a mother who can't let go of her daughter. But that's what you're watching. So just adding a parrot then makes it, beautiful. It's whatever the fucking quotes were in the trailer. It was just like, I'm sure the movie's fine. But
It looked kind of silly though.
I don't know. Come on, give me. There we go. A mother-daughter fairy tale that hits right in the heart and soul. It's like, yeah,
Sure.
it's like Kramer
the
versus
parent doesn't
Kramer,
help.
which is a heartbreaking divorce drama about the toll it takes on a child when their parents break up. But there's no magical parrot there. It's just reality, and that works fine. They were nominated for Oscars and stuff. People loves that movie.
It's not even like they tried to mask it in the trailer. It's like
it's
super
just
obvious.
there. And I'm like, is that the new
even
thing now?
like the plot line on IMDb is like literally telling us that this is all it is.
Yeah. But you can tell like real stories, heavy stories,
Yes.
serious stories without that stuff. Or and this is Boomer Toba talking. Like, is this because like today's audience can't handle serious situations, so you need to like sugarcoat it with fantasy stuff? Because they're all therapy babies.
I mean, you could still make better fantasy stuff than, to be honest.
yeah. And I'm just saying we're judging this movie for having seen it. So, but I'm just
I'm
the concept
putting
of
the same
why is there a
blame on
fucking parrot there?
I'm putting the same blame on Dream Scenario. To be
Yeah.
fair.
The dream stuff doesn't go anywhere.
No, and it's the one part that you wanted to go somewhere.
Yeah. Another movie by Ari Aster that does the same thing. You didn't watch Beau is Afraid, right? You started watching it.
No.
Okay.
I saw the poster.
Okay. That is a movie, a 24 movie, a very high
Right.
concept because it's this it's this absurdist hilarious nightmare about a man traveling to his mother's funeral. That's the concept, that's the story. But he goes to these fantasy worlds, and there's people chasing him, and he's stuck in loops, and
Oh.
The thing is, though, that the high concept thing there, the strangeness going on, is all over the movie, and it helps to tell the story. Now, does it go overboard sometimes? Yes, but that's what makes it absurdist. They go all the way with it. They don't just say like, oh, it's a little bit weird in the beginning, but then it's just him, on a road trip. No, it's weird throughout, and it gets weirder. And I mean, there is like 10% reality, 90% weird metaphor stuff going on. So it's truly like, not Dadaist, but it is absurdist. It's an absurdist piece of art. But at least they went all the way with it. And yeah, the plot, the story is just really a man, a very, once again...
Anxiety-ridden man.
Yeah, anxiety-ridden man. A very meek man. Finally...
Mild-mannered but anxiety-ridden man.
Yeah. Who finally, removes the shackles of his overprotective mother. That's it. It's an emancipation story told through an absurdist lens. But that absurdist lens is all over the movie all the time. It's not just, it's a little weird here and there. No. It's weird all the time.
Yeah, either you go weird full out,
Yeah.
you go full retard, or you don't do it at all.
Exactly. Well, you never go full retard. No, I know what you mean. You got
Full weird, I guess,
you gotta go for. Don't half-ass it. You gotta go for it.
Yeah,
Either you make the
exactly.
super grounded, realistic story, or you go all out with the weirdness.
Yeah.
This wishy-washy, middle-of-the-road bullshit, nah.
It did remind me at times, Dream Scenario, I mean.
Yeah.
It reminded me at times of a movie we never really talked about, but I did watch, Men.
Well, I watched it too.
Remember Men?
I loved it.
Yeah, but we didn't talk about it,
No.
I think. It had moments when it's like, oh, so it's this creepy thing where, yeah, it's the Mandela effect in this case, instead of just one person seeing the same person everywhere.
Yeah.
It's a comment on society and just freaky things in general and how people react to things.
Yeah.
But no, they don't go anywhere with it.
Wait, are you saying the men didn't go anywhere?
No, dream scenario.
Okay.
Men did it fine.
Yes, I'm so glad.
But that's on a it's still weird.
I know, and it doesn't
So
work 100%. Definitely not.
No, but because in that case it's just one person's experience. Here they're trying to flip it, so it's all people having the same experience about one person.
Yeah,
and it doesn't really track.
They
don't go far enough with it.
There in Men, let's have a little mini discussion about Men. There's really the surface level plot that doesn't really come together. Like, why are they chasing her?
Yeah,
all these men.
I'm assuming it's all in her head.
Yeah, maybe. But the story really works because if you haven't watched Men, it's about a woman who is trying to recuperate after her husband committed suicide, and she like saw it. He jumped from their
because of her.
Yeah. Because of her. He was emotionally holding her hostage. The classic, if you leave me, I'll kill myself. And she was like,
yes,
whatever. But then he actually did it. Which, not a cool thing to do. I'm not like victim blaming, but, I would be surprised if she didn't feel guilt.
No, obviously you'll feel guilt because it is your fault.
Yeah, so it's her dealing with that guilt. But then also, that's also where it doesn't really come together. Because I wish we saw more of their relationship. How if it was actually toxic? Because we only see that one argument. Yes, he does hit her, but that's just that one moment. It's not a constant toxic situation.
We see only the end of it, really,
exactly.
as well.
Yeah.
We don't get to see the start of that specific fight, even.
But we do, throughout the movie, get the feeling that maybe she didn't feel, like, comfortable in that relationship for a longer time. Because then she starts seeing, like, hostility in all men around her. Almost like they're encroaching on her. But at the same time, is that also just... because, when she speaks to the priest, and he says, like, well... you shouldn't have killed your boyfriend, or you killed your husband. She's like, what?
Yeah.
Because, say what you will. She did it. I'm sorry. She did.
It is partially her fault, obviously.
Yeah, that's the moral complexity of that story. Like, she is 100% the victim here. But she
is also the blame.
The death of her husband. I'm sorry. And I think that's what people couldn't really connect with in that one. They're like, oh, no, it's trying to, excuse that kind of talk. No, it's not trying to excuse his behavior. It is just showing the real-world consequences of a relationship like that.
Yeah,
And even if she was totally in the right, she is still going to have, anxiety about it. She's going to feel guilt about it.
And it's not just about that specific happening, obviously, because of what she mentions before. It's the hostility she sees in all men is because of how her husband treated her up until the very end.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, we get to see very briefly, though, that it does hit her. Maybe it didn't happen often, but maybe it did happen enough to be, harmful to her mental state.
Yeah.
Making her afraid that, all men who I allow come close to me will eventually hit me, so I am afraid of men.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, feeling guilty because she made a man kill himself. Unintentionally, but because she, and like you would realize, is because she handled the situation poorly.
Yeah.
And then she goes, oh, is it my fault that he hit him? Am I annoying? Am I stupid or whatever?
Yeah,
like
and all these...
There's so many emotions.
Yeah, and all these
they all
different male stereotypes exacerbate those feelings. Which I thought was so fascinating. And then tying it into, it's been so long since I saw it now, but there's this connection to nature involved, which I don't remember exactly, but the guy, which is based on like an English like folklore thing. The guy there's growing branches on him and stuff, and she sees that green man, the faces in the church and stuff.
Yes.
I don't remember exactly what it was. I need to watch. There's a video about it.
I never really understood that part.
No, me neither.
For being honest,
but there is an idea there. And then, of course, the end metaphor, which kind of comes out of nowhere. But it's the whole thing about how violence breeds violence, and that's why you have generational violence, especially within men, because it's usually, you know, dads beat their sons, or at least used to. Hopefully not so much nowadays. And that's why, you know, these broken men kept getting born out of themselves in the end, and they were just more and more broken the more they were born. Yeah. Once again, didn't fully work, but it was a very, very interesting movie, and with wonderful, strange visuals, and the high concept stuff was throughout the movie. Yeah. Also, another A24 movie.
Yeah, and it worked, and ultimately it worked better than what Dream Scenario tried to do.
Yeah.
It touches on a more, on a deeper subject, I guess, because the whole internet fame or 15 minutes of fame, I guess, is better, isn't as interesting, because anyone can get their 15 minutes of fame now.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, we're trying.
Yeah.
We hopefully won't go to our heads that way, but
no.
It's such a average thing now.
Yeah, I know, but I mean,
anyone with a cell phone can have their 15 minutes of fame.
But I guess, you know, that's what the kids, you know, all the kids are about social media. So making a move about social media,
Sure, but putting then a middle-aged man in the center of it won't affect the kids. They won't understand it.
Yeah.
They're not gonna see themselves in him.
Yeah, and it's got...
Rather, I saw middle-aged people being like...
who don't understand how the internet works.
Yeah. I was surprised that he was able to scroll through Twitter. Like...
Yeah. And that is kind of reflected in the reviews. I'm looking at... It's got pretty good reviews on Metacritic. It has a 74, I think it was.
Yeah. Which I don't think is fair. I'm honestly... Like, yeah, it was very interesting to watch, but the more you think of it, it's just like, what the fuck is this movie? And I'm definitely not gonna rewatch it.
No.
I'm not even gonna I'll watch it with someone else because I want to see their reaction. No, I don't care. I liked the dream scenario scenes. That's it. I didn't like anything that happened in the real world.
No. And also, yeah, like I said, it feels like it was going to be more... I felt it could have gone further. It could have been more disturbing and terrifying.
Fantastical.
Yeah, and that's also because you have Nicolas Cage. We're going to talk a little bit about Nicolas Cage again.
Sure.
Like I said, one of the greatest actors, not only of this generation, of all time. He has a very specific way of acting. It's actually called, what is it called? It's nouveau shamanistic, which he calls it. It's more of a...
Shamanistic?
Yeah, nouveau shaman. It's a whole thing he studied in... I think it's partly kabuki theater, you know, the mask musical thing in Japan, coupled with some sort of idea from some sort of Eastern philosophy. I forget. There's a whole thing about it.
Shaman, as in
as a shaman,
magical priest.
Yes. How they perform, part of their remedies and part of their way of healing you is a performance.
Sure, yeah, they do.
Yeah,
put on a show.
And he pretty early in his career decided that's the way he's gonna do it, and that's why a lot of his performances are very specific. We talk a lot about that in Madison the Method, and I think we've talked about it here as well. There are these most of the time when you see a movie. We talked about that when we talked about Renfield. You couldn't see anyone else doing that character. In that case, in Dracula, no one else could have done that performance in that role. If you had any other actor, it would be Dracula because he's Dracula, but it would have been...
And it might have been fine,
different.
But it wouldn't have been that Dracula.
No, it is... His way of performing is 100% unique when he goes all out.
Yeah.
And we get that a little bit here. He obviously... He has this, he puts on a weird voice, which is almost it's almost too much. But it also fits the character, even though maybe it doesn't fit Nicolas Cage. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then he kind of freaks out here and there. But if you're going to do a movie where Nicolas Cage enters your dreams and starts murdering you, come on, you got to lean into it.
Make it weird.
Yeah, make it weird. Show us. We only get little glimpses.
I think because we do get a little bit.
A little
weird.
bit, but you could have done
mainly
more with it.
in his own nightmare, I guess.
Yeah.
Everyone else's, obviously they don't want to show everything.
No, but like,
they don't want to make it too scary.
But why did you hire Nicolas Cage then? Come on,
Exactly.
you know why you did it. It's not because
Again,
he's very good at playing a
into the
down-to-earth
concept.
guy. No, that's not why. Sorry for talking over you. What do you say?
No, they should have leaned into that concept. They should have utilized him going batshit crazy in dreams.
Yeah, because he
deliberately.
Yeah, because he can do whatever any other actor would have done for your part, the down-to-earth stuff. He can do that.
Yeah.
But he can also give you the batshit crazy stuff for the dream stuff. So why not lean into it? Why half-bake something that feels so clearly made for Nicolas Cage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm honestly giving this movie a 2-star only. And that is basically 1 star for Nicolas Cage, 1 star for, hey, they at least put the dreams in there. They were still there.
I'll go slightly higher than that.
harsh.
I still think it was a well-made movie, like technically and stuff. I'll give it a 3.
Sure.
I mean, it's not below average. It's a little bit.
No, but it's infuriating.
I understand what you mean. Now you decide your own score, and I can see why. I just don't agree to that extent.
No.
But just reading some of the reviews, it doesn't have any 10 out of 10 reviews, I think. Which is also very telling, because usually movies get at least someone who's like, oh yeah, this is the greatest movie ever.
You mean even like
oh shit, it has one. Fuck. Okay.
people doing their own reviews?
No,
You mean, not
the
just
critic
professional?
reviews. It does actually have one.
Uh,
San Francisco Chronicle says, the film starts off akin to a tongue-in-cheek Twilight Zone episode, then becomes a meditation commentary on fame before transforming into a scathing satire of several things at once. Gen Z, cancel culture, and even the people who complain about cancel culture. Yeah, but it's too many things. You can focus.
yeah, I don't even think they did the cancel culture properly, to
No.
be honest. Because they almost leaned in too heavily on that and mentioning certain people.
Yeah. We can get you on Tucker.
Having to, yeah. Like,
But
you
why?
should,
He hasn't done anything.
Maybe we can put you on Rogan, talk about like being cancelled. Like, stop it.
Yeah,
Stop it.
it doesn't-
First of all, don't.
It doesn't work when he actually, and that's not even like a matter of opinion. He literally hasn't done anything.
Yeah. I mean,
And you have the scene where all the kids are like, "Why don't you just get out of here? Yeah, get out of here, loser!" And they film him and
yeah.
call it a
I'm sorry.
meltdown.
They were just recently so afraid of him that they had to leave the room. Yeah. But now they're outside, so now they're all afraid.
Yeah,
all
but
of a sudden.
that's the thing, you know. Oh, I'm so scared of this person. But then, you know, when they're in a, it's very easy to pile on
were
when
still
you're
in
in
a
a
group,
group, you know.
They were in a
Yeah,
group,
you know, but
though. They
you
were
know,
sitting.
the thing.
All of those kids were sitting in the same room.
That's literally me.
But because he entered their space, he was threatening.
Yeah, that's it.
But then when they got the chance to enter his space,
It's very performative. I don't want to I don't want to disparage the whole thing, but that is literally what Me Too was about. You know, you were scared as an individual, but then you realized, oh, me too, more and more. You get stronger as a group to the point where
obviously, and it works, and it should work in certain scenarios. Not in when it comes to nightmares.
Exactly.
I don't care if you all see the same person killing you in your dreams, unless someone actually turns up dead because of it.
Yeah.
Then it's not scary.
Yeah.
Not enough. It's uncomfortable, and yeah, you'd be a little weird maybe going to his classes too much. But if you like talk about it and he agrees to not talk about the dreams, just talk about whatever subject, biology, whatever the fuck he
exactly.
taught, it would have been fine.
Move on.
It
was a dream. And then also, that's also very telling of they didn't really know where to go with it. In the last 10 minutes or 15 minutes or whatever, it just, the dreams seem to have ended now.
Yeah.
Okay.
They just randomly stopped? But why? No one knows.
No one knows because we didn't know how to wrap it up. That's why.
Yeah. I can accept that things come out of nowhere.
Yes.
They show up out of nowhere.
Sure.
That is perfectly fine. And yes, it is a way of talking about people's fame fading very quickly and you just become forgotten.
Yeah.
Sure. That's what they're trying to do. But again, it's not actually just fame, though. It's something more because you've put pseudoscience into it.
Yeah.
Dreams. It's not just a viral TikTok. it's actually an interesting phenomenon
Yeah.
that has to do with the human mind more than just technology and people's reaction to technology. Like you've put something more fantastical into it without fully developing it and working with it, and just using it as a metaphor for internet.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's
which is kind of what we've been saying. We're
we're
starting to repeat ourselves. Just so, but I just want to say
because it's so annoying.
I know. It's very annoying. I know though this guy who wrote and directed it, it's a Norwegian guy called Kristoffer Borgli. He seems to have an interest in virality and social media and how that affects people. Because the last movie he made, which came out in 2022, was called Sick of Myself. I never watched it, but that looked very interesting. Because there's a girl who is like she's like a social media influencer sort of. But her boyfriend, who is also that, or like he's a model or something, he starts like overshadowing her, becomes more famous than her.
He rises to fame as a contemporary artist creating sculptures from stolen furniture.
Yeah. And then she decides that I'm gonna get I want to get my fame back. In the trailer, I don't remember, but in the trailer, I think she like has an accident and uses that as a springboard to become famous, like get pity points and become famous again. But then she also like, now I can use that to like take revenge, or basically like she starts scheming and using this as a way to get her fame back in any way possible, but also like push everyone else,
put him down at the same time, I guess.
That sounded interesting. But you know what? Because it's fully rooted in reality. She doesn't go on a space trip and figure it out in another dimension. And then we just go back to Earth. Like, no.
Yeah, no, she becomes addicted instead. And she does weird stuff that you actually would do in real life.
So I think I'm gonna check that one out, actually. I don't know why I didn't. And then also, we have to mention the fact that we mentioned him several times in this episode. Ari Aster produced this movie, Dream Scenario. So I'm sure he had a bit of influence there, like, I need to make it like an Ari Aster movie. It's this high concept, but it's really just a family drama or a movie about being cancelled. Like every Ari Aster movie. But this guy, he ain't no Ari Aster. This ain't no Hereditary or Midsommar or Beau is Afraid. No. So anyway,
you know what? One last thing that irked me even more, that they mentioned, because this is putting it in a bit of a sci-fi situation because of the dreams, but then they mention actual real life things, as in famous people we know of. They mention TikTok and it's like branding and stuff. And it's like, could you just not have like made up stuff instead? Kind of trying to root it in reality while not, and it just irked me even more.
I was fine with that.
They were like, it just bothered me. It bothered me.
By the way, though, all those dreamfluencers, as they call them in the end, once again, literally 2 minutes of screen time. Like, you're not going to expand on that at all? That now we have advertisement in our heads? Like, that in and of itself, it's an entire movie. That we are now, not even our dreams are safe from ads, because we get ads everywhere now, on our phones, in our podcasts, on TV, YouTube, everywhere. And now even our dreams are being advertised in. But out of those, the dreamfluencers, some people said like, or people started pointing out, I don't know, in reviews, someone wrote, I think that was like trigger warning, there's a TW, trigger warning Peter Centennial. And he's some sort of famous person, isn't he?
Noah Centennial.
Noah Centennial, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, he's an actor.
Was he one of the Dreamfluencers?
Yes.
And then I have to ask you, one of the girls... What is this? No. One of the girls, was that Amber Midthunder?
Yes.
It was. It was, right?
Yes.
But it's not on her... there it is! Yeah, she plays Haley. Yeah, okay. I was like,
she's one of the Dreamfluencers.
That was awesome. Very, very small role, but it was cool to see her in another movie at least. Because she's only done like TV stuff since, it's only been a year. Well, 2. Okay.
Yeah, but
it
no,
was,
that's
okay, it was her, yeah, good.
They were all like actors.
Okay.
Like famously, or at least somewhat famous actors. Like I recognized all of them, I think.
Okay.
I could only name one by name, which is Noah Centineo.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say his last name. I did recognize the other ones as well. I did recognize Amber, but I didn't realize it was her.
No, I wasn't sure. Like, is that her?
I know that face.
Yeah.
Like, who is that?
Because last time she had like badass war paint on, and here she was just
Yeah.
all of them had like jean clothes, just jean clothes for some reason, or like everything was in blue at least, jean blue colors. For some reason.
I think it was to look dreamy.
Baby blue, like the sky and clouds or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
Where are we going with that?
It's calming and makes you dream because you had to relax to be able to enter. Again, I want a full movie on just the whole science behind the fucking dream walking.
Not just something you fart out in the last 5 minutes. Speaking of farts,
We haven't even mentioned that.
let's end
scene
on
properly.
that then.
Holy crap!
Yeah, well, you have, of course, when you get a little bit of fame, the girls start swarming. And here, of course, it's
Doesn't
a girl
matter
who
what
had
you
a
look
wet
like.
dream. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's fame. They're drawn to the fame. And here, of course, is one who had a wet dream about him and wants to reenact it with him. And he's like, but I don't know. But once again, because he's kind of, he likes the attention, he keeps on saying, I'm married, but he goes along with it. They're about to they're about to get it on, I suppose, and he just prematurely comes. Oh, and she's like, "Did you just come?" And then he farts, and I'm like, "That was hilarious," but I laughed out loud like for a long time because farts are funny. But it was also like,
that's the thing. I don't think that, but I gasped because I was like, "Wait, okay." So they did the one fart at first. It's like, no, but it's natural. Yeah, sure. When you're nervous.
There were 2
It can happen.
farts?
Before they even, when he sat down on the couch,
Oh.
there's a little one, and he starts explaining it like it has to do with it's
healthy sex
actually.
Oh.
She's like, it's fine, because it was a small one.
I
It's fine.
thought that was that he was already erect. It was a fart?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yes. First I thought it was the couch, but then the way he reacted, I was like, no, he farted.
Then this
Okay, that's a little bit
then
weird.
this review made sense because someone wrote Nicolas Cage farts and comes and farts. I was like, what? There was only
Yeah.
one fart, but no, okay, there was 2.
No,
okay,
there's 2.
Okay. But I was like, what? Once again, they just threw in a little bit of comedy there.
Sure. But they threw it into the weirdest part of the entire movie, which touched on the weirdest subject in the entire movie, which had nothing to do with anything else in the entire movie. The whole his wife and him both being kind of scared that the other one is cheating for some reason.
Yeah. Another part they didn't really, like we said, they didn't really explore the characters that much.
No. And they even mentioned, like, how could I be cheating? Because I'm so average. I wouldn't even be able to handle... Exactly. You are not the kind of person I'd think would cheat because you would be like, no, I'm glad at least one woman loves me.
Yeah.
One person loves me. Because I'm not to be rude, but because of how they dressed her and her makeup, she looked so average as well.
Well, yeah.
Like yeah, she apparently got it on with the coworker when he.
Well, they
got too
hint
weird,
at it.
So he was sitting next to her in the audience.
I know, yeah.
When they were watching the daughter's show.
That's true.
So yeah. He went to her daughter's show. He was trying to get brownie points.
That's true. That's true. Anyway.
And that whole thing too, getting the whole snapping the finger off, it's just...
Yeah, and then saying like, what was his name? James...
Paul Matthews.
Paul Matthews attacked me! No, he didn't!
And you know it,
slammed
Karen.
your finger in the door.
I mean, you put your hand by the, where the hinges are. You shouldn't put your hand there. You know that. You're an adult. You're a teacher. You should teach the children not to do that.
I know, so annoying. Anyway.
Yeah,
I see the point of it, though,
let's-
that, him
Yes.
trying to make it better or just trying to live his life makes it even worse. I get it, sure.
Sure. Ugh. I think this movie set too high expectations, and sure, initial like shock factor
Sure.
worked, but the more you looked at it, the more you think about it, it's just annoying.
Yeah, and it didn't really pay off. And there
No.
was a fucking nothing ending.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I was looking forward to this one. Still think Nicolas Cage did a great job. Not gonna hold it against him. Would I recommend this? Nah, it's fine. Whatever. And I'm not gonna watch it again, but I'm glad I did watch it because I got to see Nicolas Cage. So yeah, that's my review for the movie. I'm giving it a 3 out of 5. It's a light 7 out of 10 for me. No, 6 out of 10. Sorry.
3 out of 5. Yeah,
6 out
that's
of 10.
6.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. Nah,
Slightly above average.
I'm sticking to 2. I am gonna rally for the fact that we're gonna watch Sick of Myself for our Patreon, though.
That we can do. See if he deals with the similar themes in a better way in that movie.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way,
So, if you want to see that, check out the Patreon.
yeah, if you want to see what you think of Sick of Myself, check out patreon.com/DonMakeScene. Also, we have next week is Dune, right? Or wait, no,
Wait.
that's in
Is
2
there another
weeks.
weekend before that?
It's another week before that. I think we should do another smaller indie movie because I found that you can watch Monster online. Doo-doo.
Ooh.
Yeah. The
Monster we discussed that we wanted to talk about?
yeah, you mentioned it to me.
The Chinese
Yeah,
movie?
it turns out it's starring Sakura Ando,
Yeah,
another Spoiler Awards nominee.
exactly. Yeah, maybe we should do
Maybe we
that.
should do that because I want to see it. So
Sure, yeah. Anyway, that's it for today.
yeah, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching us. Be sure to, like I said, subscribe, hit the like button, leave your thoughts on the movie. If you've seen Dream of Sonari, what do you think? Are we completely wrong? Check out the socials. There's a link tree below. Check out patreon.com/Don'tMakeAScene, and check us out next week then when we talk about Monster, the new 2023 technically a Japanese drama.
Right, it was Japanese, not Chinese. Sorry.
Japanese. But until then, have a good one. Bye.
Bye.
The Spoiler Cast is part of Please Don't Make a Scene. It is produced and directed by Tobias Vedén and hosted by Tobias and Rebecca Vedén. Executive producer is Annika Vedén. I also want to give a huge shout out to all our patrons over on patreon.com/don'tmakeascene. Mom, Dad, Christopher Belén, Danny Del Gaiso, Mac and Mom, Laura Kinney, CK85.